Okay. Hey guys. Must hide behind the screen. Yeah. Okay, start already. You also got. Oh my god, thank you. This is perfect. Should I hold it? No, it's okay. Okay, everyone here? Okay, I guess we can start already. So yeah, okay, welcome back guys. My name is Marion. Uh, and yeah, I'll be talking about table management and discipline. I'm not a discipline master per se, but yeah, I'm by no means any sort of like tyrant or dictator or whatever. But no, I'm just role playing as a dictator. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to talk about basically are things you need to know as a GM or DM at the table, because D&D is not just a game for yourself, it is a game for you and the players at the table. So it is not just a gaming experience, it's also a social experience. And I'm sure all of you have some have experienced or have yet to experience some of the phenomena we all see at the table sometimes. Yeah, so I guess before we can continue, this is not an unagony session. This is not for you to cry on our okay, maybe you can cry on our shoulders later after this entire workshop. But it's not it's not for you to come here and like vent your frustration. It's more for us to give you a primer of what you can expect to deal with as a dungeon master, as a game master. So I believe most of you here have played D&D. You've only seen things from one side from only your perspective, correct? Now as a GM, you're behind the screen, you're looking at 5, 6 other perspectives here. And sometimes they might all not align with you or with each other. And so you will be the babysitter. You will be the mother. You'll be the mother rock. You know what's a rock? Big flying bird. CR10, I think. All right, take down. HP 262, something like that. Yeah. So yeah. So this is just to give you an insight of what you can expect to see at when running a game. Okay. So next, yeah. So at the table, you are in control of the table. You are the captain of the ship. You have the final say in all things, and most importantly, you as the GM are the player. I believe my comrades here have said this. I've repeated this multiple times. You as the DM are also a player, so your fun is just as important as your 5 or 6 guys at your table. You are no different from any of them. You are not a robot. You are not a random number generator. You are not a random encounter generator. You are a human being, just like everyone else there. So your feelings matter just as much as theirs. Okay. So things to look out for: whether players are respecting you, whether players are respecting one another, whether players are actively trying to sabotage one another, and whether everybody is having fun at the table. So when all these are counted together, are factored in, you will have fun as well. Trust me on this. I cannot stress this enough, because there have been many times with me as GM, or with even them as GM, have experienced games that have been very lackluster, for the lack of a better term, because you didn't experience a satisfying enough game. Sure, your players had fun, but how they had fun might not be your kind of fun. And maybe because you didn't express that, maybe because you kept it to yourself, you take that in and you kind of beat yourself up for it. So yeah, I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't. And these are the things you need to look out for to prevent yourself from feeling this way. Okay? So next, yeah. So most common scenarios that will definitely piss you off as a DM. Yeah. At the table, so I've broken it down into two parts: at the table and off the table. At the table, when everyone is there playing, rolling dice, role playing and stuff, table talk. Okay, so they will include basically things that you might not like to see at the table. So for example, topics that are not related to D&D. Say they come in here and you're doing the dinosaur race, but everyone's like, hey, housework, hey, Oh, Man U won. Oh, Man City won. Oh, Liverpool won. Oh, and nobody's getting immersed. Why? Because, yeah, you know, it's these things that really break immersion, right? And I believe you guys have experienced that before. I believe everyone here has been guilty of that before. I have, and yeah. So topics, yeah, D&D topics that are not related to the game itself. So say you're here and somebody just bought the new Xanatas Guide to Everything, and you guys and everyone's trying to fight off this demon, but this guy's just like, hey, check out my Hexblade. Oh my god, I'm a Hexblade. I'm powerful. I'm cool and shit. This is my shiny new book. Oh, look at the foil cover by Hydro 74. Oh my god, limited edition. Oh my god. So yeah, that can be immersion breaking as well. Sure, your player can be talking about D&D, but it's not related to. It's not about the king that you're trying to save, not about the princess you're trying to save. So it's also irrelevant. Okay, this is another tricky part here. Topics and actions that will make you or other players uncomfortable. I believe, okay, who has experienced a game where you have a player talk about something that makes you feel weird? Say, oh, okay, what is it, Charles? You want to share? Yeah. No, we share. It's okay.
Not sure good to say.
It's okay.
So, so there's once I playing D&D in China, or Singapore in Chinese. Then there's one of the players setting the background, but his background is very very dark that the DM and us cannot accept it. And then his character is literally like chaotic evil.
Oh. And but you guys are not playing that kind of style, right?
Yeah, we are not going to do this kind of thing.
You're like the good guys, is it? Kind of thing?
Yeah, we are playing
Okay.
like a neutral good alignments stuff.
Okay.
And he has a setting like include a lot of murders, dark experiments of a wizard, sort of shit. Then
Okay.
like no, I'm not going to do that. Please come on.
Interesting. Okay. Was it you? Yeah, Felice. Okay. What was it? Okay. Oh. It's normal. Did it make you feel weird? Okay. Do you express this to your players and the DM? Okay. Was it? Oh, Claudinho as well. Okay. Right. The player was. Wow. Holy shit. As the. Yeah. Okay. I get it. So.
Okay, I see.
Wow. I guess he has a very strong imagination then. Okay. I see. Anyone else? Raise their hand. Oh, yes.
I don't know if anyone knows this game, but I had a player. I wasn't a GM, but I had a fellow player playing Vampire the Masquerade.
Okay.
And we were playing Vampire the Masquerade.
Yep.
So Vampire the Masquerade, you do go to those either very dark or having overtones.
Because vampires, right?
Because it is an adult game. It's very
Yeah.
clearly RA21 kind of game. Because that's the setting. I mean, you don't have to spell it out in every detail, but the actions they were very clear, and that
Yeah.
character, that person just didn't feel comfortable. So we didn't know what to do because I wanted to play the game, but then wasn't ready to play the subject. It's if it was angels, the lightning, then if we all do that, I can understand your problem, but
I understand, but yeah. Is it even? Yeah. Like even in a game like Vampire the Masquerade, even though there's a lot of dark themes, I mean, nobody wants to go that route, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's just a.
going very like like descriptive.
Yeah. Because we know already what kind of. Yeah.
Even just the basic. I bite the guy's neck and murder him. The player was uncomfortable. Then
Yeah. Okay.
it's hard because that's part of the game. It's actually built into the game that
Yep.
you are tempted to do that kind of stuff.
Okay.
This problem can be solved by the GM.
Yeah. Of course.
I got that
Yeah.
fire, I filter out my players. They sound too young, I sound not hot bowl, and you okay with these things.
Actually, Steve, actually, that's what I'm gonna get to later on. So yeah, don't worry. So great. Thanks for sharing those who have shared. So now you guys kind of know what it can be like to experience things as a GM, because now you're dealing with sometimes children in the bodies of men and women. Right? No, it's true, it's true. Okay, I base this experience, okay, on this Friday, right? Just 2 days ago, I was running a game of Lost Mine of Endelver for a bunch of greenhorns, bunch of people who've never played D&D before, cause a request of a friend, okay? Well, that friend and his three other friends were okay, like generally okay. There's this one guy who wanted to play a female archer, wearing leathers and fur that was so skin tight yeah, you get the drift lah, you know. And he would be letting his character like molest the goblins with her body. It's yeah, you see, some of you are already getting turned off, right? Yeah, it turned me off. It turned me off. And while I didn't say it outright because they were having fun and everything, maybe I should have, okay, but I didn't let it get to my confidence. At the end of the game, I killed them all with my goblin army. So no, but you see, no, but it was not it was not like it's not like I planned to. Okay, these guys sort of dug their own grave because they made very poor decisions in terms of going to the cave, trying to rescue the guy. So they kind of made their bed. I made them sleep in it, because it's logical that you would, as a goblin army, be angered that people came to smash and grab your house. Why wouldn't you go out and chase them and pummel them to the ground, right? Yeah. So correct. So tabletop, very important. Yeah. Sorry.
I want to share one thing that's me. Actually, I'm a very bad player sometimes because I get bored if I'm not involved in something.
Right.
And I'm also not a rules lawyer type of character. So there were a couple of Pathfinder D&D 3.5 games where people will be off casting like 30 different spells, or sequestering themselves somewhere and then doing all these preparation things. Or one person was a super spy and would run off and spend like a night doing this, that, and the other thing, so that by the next time they come back in, the villain had no dagger, no this, no that, and I would just get up and walk away and go to the toilet, come back 30 minutes, and they would still be doing all this. Because whatever I wanted to prepare was like over 2 minutes, and I didn't read all the things and have like 40 different spells that
Yeah.
So I don't know how to deal with that as a player myself.
It's okay. So yeah, you know, as a player, you will have different styles, like we mentioned before. Some of you prefer to roleplay like myself. Some of you prefer to be immersed in 10,000 books and supplements and use that all at the table, because why not, right? But these are the things you have to deal with as a DM, because sometimes not everyone likes the same type of music, likes the same type of cake, you know, that kind of thing. So moving on. So another thing that will definitely piss you off as a DM, distractions. These are some of the things that, while can seem very minute, they actually accumulate and actually add to the immersion breaking experience. You do not want that. So can include phones and electronics. You know how people now in this day and age, it's very common to have a phone out at the table. Sure, some of you can use it for your character sheets, but what of the other guys? Maybe they are playing, I don't know, Bejeweled or some shit like that, right? It can get very irritating, and then suddenly, you hear a sound while you're in the middle of a funeral, right? It's gonna piss you off. I believe some of you here have experienced that, right? See a lot of heads nodding. Family or relatives. This is more for games where you play at home. More of so you're in an environment where it's not within your control. Maybe you have somebody's grandma there watching TV, and while you're playing a Western fantasy, Channel 8 is playing there. Some game show run by I don't know who, whatever, right? It's that kind of immersion breaking experience also that you do not want. Sorry, Charles, you were saying something?
Share one of my experience of taking sales games. So I'm like DMing my friend's house. Then they got 2 years old little kid.
Yeah.
Then just playing on the house. My entire game was 3 hours. This little kid is just endlessly shouting, screaming, and doing a lot of weird stuff like grabbing my dice.
He's not playing it?
He's playing.
Oh, he's playing,
He
okay.
just like he come to the table, try to mess up my scripts and take my dice away and play. I'm like, and when my whole mind is blown up. I can't really continue this.
Wow, okay. I've never, what an experience. Okay.
2-year-old kid, right?
Yeah.
He's not a player.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so if you're playing at somebody else's house where you know you cannot control the environment as well, you must be wary of this also. Environment, okay, very simple, very similar to the family and relatives part, but this one applies more to generic environments. So say it can even happen in a place like this store. Because there's so much shit going on, right? Sometimes over here in Grey Ogre we have 2 to 3 games playing, and some tables might be louder than others. Some people have bigger diaphragms than others, you know. For myself, yeah, I have a very deep voice. I don't think I speak very loudly, and it sometimes can affect me when other tables have 4 or 5 gigantic diaphragms, and I cannot overpower that. I cannot overpower it. So sometimes as a DM, you kind of need to have balls to tell them to, you know, to tell them that to be considerate lah. Yeah, which I'll get to later. So environment, yeah.
Something very quickly.
Yeah.
Another kind of environment is just share my personal experience. So I play Marian's home campaign, but once I also was like, hey, Marian's my friend, I'm going to join his AL campaign at Summoners CCG. So I went to Summoners, and if you've never been to Summoners, the environment is very different from this. And after playing that one game at Summoners, I said that I'm not going back there. Not because I'm angry against the people, but because the environment is bad for me as a person. Because the walls are all glass, it's a very small place. So there'll be constantly people walking past, staring in, trying to see what I'm doing, that kind of shit. And I'm very comfortable with that. I get very, very distracted by that kind of thing, and I feel it's bad for me. So understanding your own tendencies, as you mentioned, what do I like as a player, as a DM, that kind of reflection, I think, help you figure out what are the issues you have a problem with as well.
Yeah, definitely. Next, okay, spectators. Moving on to what Sean has just said. Sometimes you have invited friends to come and spectate. It's okay. But if your other players are not fans of that, then you also need to be wary. And also, you need to be wary of whether your spectators are the silent watchers, which are okay, right? They don't get involved. They just sit there and watch. We also need to be wary of those that interact as you play.
Like his example just now.
Yeah. Okay. I've been through games where I've had friends of friends come and join, and they sit there, and when we're role playing our characters, they just go there and just they just laugh to themselves. They smirk. While it's not irritating to me per se, it irritated some of my friends, and it kind of pissed them off. But thankfully, because that was my house, I told the guy to go home. So because I don't really like the guy myself also, so it's fine. But okay, there will be times where you will be met with that kind of scenario, and what do? You just sit there and not do anything? No, you as a DM are kind of the leader of the group. You have every right to say no whenever. So even to people outside of the table, because it is hampering your game's experience, your player's experience, and your experience as well. So yeah. So take note. Okay, I put a very big. Okay, I don't know if you all can see. Those who cannot see, it's a note saying you as the DM are just as capable of being a distraction to your players as well. So you also need to check yourself, own self check oneself, right? If not, hopefully your other players will be more observant and they will tell you, right? So these are just some of the things you need to take care of at the table. So other scenarios happen off the table. Attendance. There's late coming and there's flaking. Okay, these two are very similar, but late coming is more of like when you already know you have set the date and time, right? And you come late. Say, okay, maybe 5-10 minutes is not so bad. What if you come an hour late? Or 2 hours late? Or as in, and you guys are already in the middle of a boss fight. That kind of thing. Yeah, so these are things that you need to consider. Flaking. When a player says yes, and then they no show. That's gonna suck. I don't know if you guys as GMs have experienced that before, but from my experience, it is, as a person who likes attention, it is soul crushing. It is so crushing, yeah. But so these are and then responsiveness. It kind of plays it kind of comes hand in hand. So you have what I like to call blue tickers. Say you're in a chat, right, for your groups and you're organizing, and you're saying, oh, let's have a game for next week. Let's have a game for tomorrow, and nobody responds. Even hours before the game, what do you do? You know, so these are the things you need to consider and observe. And there are many different ways to kind of diffuse these scenarios. I cannot give you I cannot pinpoint an exact answer for you. But yeah, these are just some things you need to consider. Okay, wait, sorry. Okay, below here I've put other scenarios. So while these are very common scenarios you can experience as a GM, there are other slightly more unique scenarios that you experience. It won't necessarily piss you off, but they are things of concern. So do some of your players, have you experienced a table with a dyslexic player? Okay, great. Sorry, what? You're dyslexic? Okay. Yeah. No. So yeah, this is actually quite a common thing in a game such as D&D, because you're rolling dice, right? Sometimes you're rolling 6d10, 20d10. It's very hard to keep track of the numbers. Even 4d6, right? All the dots and all the numbers, sometimes they get jumbled up, and it takes time for players with dyslexia to calculate the answers. So do you flare up as a GM? Do you tell them, hey, hurry up, bitch? Sorry. Forgive my profanity. Do you tell them to hurry up? Do you tell them to do you give them, like, do you minus XP for them taking 5 minutes too long? No lah, I'm just being extreme here. Because there will be times where you experience playing with a player with such qualities, and that is where I say you have to exercise empathy. Yeah. So again, drawing from personal experience, I'm in a campaign with a player who has dyslexia, and he's actually really slow at math, and I did not know about this. No. Yeah. So he's both actually. He's dyslexic and slow with math. So because I was his friend, and because I don't really know him that well enough, I didn't know that he had that condition, right? And so when it came to, because he was a spellcaster, he was a warlock, right? He had to roll like what, 4d10 for a spell like Eldritch Blast or something, and he was taking extra long to count the dice. And actually, there was a point I got really pissed off because I was impatient, because sometimes it happens, and he flared back at me, and he said to me, yeah, he just told me to calm down because he has dyslexia, and that really struck me. So yeah, there'll be times where you encounter such unique scenarios, and it takes two hands to kind of clap to communicate with your player. So maybe at this point, anyone would like to share kind of unique scenarios that they have encountered? Okay.
Not a unique scenario, but what's your thoughts on, or another kind of, what's your thoughts on people who use electronic dice?
Okay.
Is it a distraction? Does it help?
It depends. It depends on the table and the GM. If say you have a player who's really slow at math, it's okay to use a calculator. I think it's why not, right? Because we have the technology, just use it. When I first started out, I thought it was stupid that people use electronic dice calculators. And then when I realized I have to roll 16d10 for my lightning breath damage, when I had to roll 16d10 for lightning damage, I cannot. I had to use I had to pop the calculator out. So yeah.
Try tracking when you're tracking your hits, right? Like imagine you have 16 creatures on hand, and you track every single hit.
So yeah, for a GM, you will have to experience that, because maybe you will have 16 goblins fighting the players. And do you need to roll 16d6 all the time? No need. Because in the stat block, let me go back to City on the Edge. Yeah, so in the stat block, you have average damage, right? Say the number, in the stat block, Okay, go to Finder. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Down, down, down. Up, 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 up,
From here
up.
up, from here up.
Come, come. Let me scroll. 2 fingers.
I have no idea how to use a Mac.
It's okay, Sean. It's okay.
There.
Okay. So, see this number here? Fuck. Fuck. Use 2 fingers to scroll, please. Up and down. Yeah. Okay. Some more. Down, down, down. Down. Okay. See this number here? This is what you get as a GM. This is very important, very crucial for running your first game. If you don't like to roll dice, just take the What I do when I first started out, even now, I like to use the AC. I take the guy's AC, that to hit bonus and their base and their flat damage, and I just track the HPs. Yeah. Actually in the Dungeon Masters guide, they actually show you that, but I'll do that later. Okay. So yeah.
Where is your PowerPoint?
Chrome. Bottom right.
Where? Bottom right. Cool.
Bottom right, bro. Bottom right. Yeah.
There's your Chrome.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Present. Okay. So yeah. I think let's move on first.
One more
Yes.
Actually, it's not a bad thing, but just something to think about. Especially with the researchers on D&D lately, I'm sure that many of us have been or seen very, very new players. And when I mean very new players, I mean players who have no clue what the hell D&D is. And they come to your table and they have no idea how to immerse themselves, they have no idea how to roleplay. And oftentimes I feel that we as DMs don't quite know how to handle them. So when they sit at the table with a pre-made character and they have no idea what role-playing means, how do we get them immersed, how do we get them involved, when many of them often feel very awkward trying to roleplay. Yeah, that I think is a common scenario as well. Probably will get more common as D&D continues to grow in the popular imagination. But that's something we have to deal with as well.
Yep. Definitely. So yeah. Yes. Yes. Right. Yeah. I understand. Yeah, in an event like that, I think what you did, it's not your fault at all. Because I think like we said before, you should know your limits as a person, in terms of how much you can handle at the table. So, I think going back there, I think it was okay to reject that player. Did you invite him back? Right. That's okay. It's good to set personal limits on yourself, because sometimes you never know when you might be biting off more than you can chew. Yeah. I say this from experience.
I think the other thing about as a new DM, right? A lot of things you aren't aware of. Also.
Yes.
So it's fine to try things out, figure out, and then afterwards you say, hey, this is not what I can do.
Yeah.
And from there you learn your limitations.
Yeah.
So don't be worried about trying out different things. Right? As a DM, you want to go with big groups, go with small groups, to go with this style of games, that style of games. Do it, try it, then you know.
Okay. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Personal suggestion, like for future reference, this is not doesn't apply to that specific case, but in future reference, it's always a good thing for games to always, regardless of whether you're playing a regular game or like a random public game, to always try and bring your at least 5 or 4 pre-registered characters. It doesn't. It's extra work for the game, but at least to me, I do it out, and I also look at like other resources. that basically take the original character sheet and make it a lot simpler for new players to understand. So
Right.
you can see things like, oh, this does this. What's a D20 at the bottom? Oh, this is a D20. That kind of thing. It's just suggestions. You don't have to take anything I'm saying to. I mean, it's up to you whether you agree with me or not. And because I'm also essentially a random person that just brought me the position. So yeah, you know.
I feel that's a very good idea because then I don't need to worry about the character build-up because like more or less I just want them to enjoy the game. But if we have a pre-generated character and they don't know what to design, like afterwards they'll be just so overwhelmed with, oh, I have to choose background now.
So
Yeah.
in their situation, it's best to always be as a DM always trying to research above and beyond something slightly. Like find online, where is there like a simpler version of a character sheet? Can I take what is originally existing and simplify it? Not say dumb it down, but make it so that it's more understandable and more digestible for a new player. Because today, imagine I think imagine your first game as a D&D player. You see the entire character sheet. Wow, so much stuff. Hey, this one do what? Do something. It's a case. It's good to always have a very simplified version beforehand for them to actually take note of. It's just a suggestion.
Another option available is a lot of the adventures, especially for homebrew, more so than AL, it's probably not applicable to AL. A lot of the homebrew adventures which have been published by Wizards has at various points in the adventure NPC helpers who come along with you.
Yep.
And NPC helpers are very good for letting your extra players try out. Because the NPC helpers often just very simple attacks, throw a spear, how much damage kind of thing, but you can also get a taste of how it works. So when I was playing my 4E campaign, for example, that's what my DM did. They had a goblin who was following us around because he had turned traitor to his tribe or something. The goblin is very cute, like squeaky voice, whatever. Then whenever there was a new player or an observer who would come, the DM would just like, would you like to roleplay the goblin? And in a very simple character sheet, this is what the goblin can do, this is goblin's personality, and then you get a taste of what playing is like.
Yeah. Following up on what Sean and Wilson said, it's. I saw that coming from. I don't know. Foresight, no. So yeah. I actually run this campaign called Out of the Abyss. It's a hardcover by Wizards, and that campaign requires the DM to take control of 9 NPCs from the start, because it's a jailbreak with your PCs and 9 NPCs. So that can also be a good jumping on point for if you want to have a guest player at the table. But yeah, let's not talk about Out of the Abyss because that's a different story for another time, right? But just saying for reference. Okay, so with all these issues, these scenarios that you see at the table, a lot of them have root causes, and let's identify some of them. So first one, you're not engaging the table properly, and that's okay, because not everyone here is Freddie Mercury, not everyone here is Barack Obama, not everyone can engage an audience as well as these people are, and it's okay. It's okay at your first time to stutter through your campaign, your game, but then you should not beat yourself up for it, and you should then challenge yourself to try and be better at articulating yourself, right? So yeah, maybe it can also be because you've not prepared the adventure properly. Maybe you've done this as an ad hoc thing for your friends, and you didn't have time to come up with notes and stuff, so you're mostly coming out with things on the fly, and that's totally fine as well. Because sometimes, you never know when you need to run a game of D&D, right? Yeah, it's like cup noodles. Okay, because emergency food, ma. So yeah.
Can I
Yes.
For those that sometimes run games last minute per se, my personal tip is run something you've done before.
Yes.
So you are more familiar
It's
with it.
easier.
You can change a bit on the fly, improvise, but if you've done something you've done before, the prep time will be much lesser.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, you're taking control of the table. Okay, so I think there's another scenario that just came into my head. Okay, everyone here is very literate, I assume. Everyone here has read books, watched movies, seen a lot of stuff, heard a lot of stuff, right? So all of you are like master storytellers, lah. Right? So what happens when a player exclaims, "Oh, that's fucking cliche, man"? What happens when they snigger at a moment where your NPC says, "I am your father"? What then? Do you lose confidence? Do you break down and cry? Do you pack up your stuff and go home? Right? Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Great. That's a great response, man.
But then you have 10 ton weight falls on your head.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Because there'll be some players who think they know everything. Maybe at one point we're all guilty of it. And that's where you need to. That's where I reiterate again. You are in control of your table, so you have every right to tell them, I'm going to use a page from To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm going to use a page I'm going to use a scene from Star Wars, and they cannot fault you for that because it is your game. The fact that they have agreed to play with you means there is a social contract that they have signed themselves up for lah. No, it's true. When you play D&D, when you play role-playing games, it is a social contract you make with your players to sit down and have a shared experience together. So yeah, even if it's a cliche thing, yeah, you know. Okay, players aren't really interested in the game. These can mean maybe they just want to hang out. Maybe not all your players here want to sit down and roll dice and talk about elves and dwarves and wizards. Maybe sometimes they just want to use that as an excuse to spend time with you as friends. Okay, maybe this is not so much for AL games because we know what we want. The players know what they sign up for. If there's players who sign up on Warhorn for AL and they go there to talk about their latest, I don't know, football, yeah, then there's something wrong with the person, I don't know. Okay, this is more for private games and home games. So yeah, don't be discouraged when you have these players at your table, because sometimes not like we talk about player styles, right? Maybe some of these players are just using it as an excuse to hang out and stuff. Maybe you or your players are having a bad day. There are definitely days where not everyone is at their 100%, even myself, even Sean, even Toron, and it's okay. Maybe you guys can just play next. Yeah, maybe if these players are not up for it and they are trying to force themselves into the game, you have every right to tell them it's okay. I think you should sit out. Maybe just sit down and have a coffee, but don't disturb my game, or I will drop rocks on your character next time, that kind of thing. I don't know. Or maybe it's better if you guys, as a collective group, just not play D&D and go watch a movie or play board games or something like that. End of the day, there's a saying, no D&D is better than bad D&D. Have you guys heard of that? Yeah. So if one of you is having a bad day, it will probably spread. I've had that before, and it's not fun. It's really not fun. So yeah, maybe it's a conflict of player styles. Right? We were talking about how there's a power gamer and a role player and a special snowflake. This is more common in the AL scenario because, like I said, we have randoms, you have pickup groups that change every week, right? So yeah, not everyone wants to kick butt. Not everyone wants to talk and end a war with a simple prestidigitation spell, you know. And this is where you as a DM again have to kind of talk to them and see what kind of games they like to play. Or also, like you suggested, trying to use their styles and try to integrate it into your game to try and appease everyone. Of course, with the idea at the back of your head that you cannot please everyone, right? Okay. So yeah, another note here: these actions by your players are not necessarily intentional, so do not outlaw them straight on. Maybe these players have they don't like to express themselves very much. Maybe they just want to go there and sit down and play. But if they have issues and they're not speaking up, it is your responsibility as DM to kind of take care of that, right? Yeah, definitely. Definitely, yeah.
The key here is don't assume, communicate with players.
Yes.
And if someone is being damn snappy at the table, for example, maybe a good time to call a toilet break and take that moment just pick the player, person and ask them, hey, are you okay? What's going on? Because as well, sometimes they just don't realize it. Many people are nice in Singapore. Like, we tell them, hey, man, could you put it down a bit? Could you stop doing this? Could you stop saying that? Many people will be, okay, sorry, I didn't realize I was doing that. Things will be okay.
Yeah. So this is the part as the DM where you shouldn't dread. Because it is part of your responsibility as a DM to be the caretaker, to be the mother hen of these players. Because remember, you are sitting from a perspective where you can see everything. They are sitting from a perspective where they can only see from their point of view. So, yes, definitely. So, that's why there's like a social, that's why I'm talking about social contracts, right? Maybe some players see it as that, oh, it's not my responsibility as a player to defuse the scenario, even though I know what's going on. So you as a DM need to pick up on these social cues. Not saying that, okay, I'll go on to that later, right? So what can you do to possibly prevent such scenarios from happening? 2 words for you. Session 0. What is session 0, you may ask? It is a session before the actual campaign or game where you and the players sit down and discuss expectations besides creating characters and stuff. Although this benefits homebrew more, because homebrews tend to have long, very stretched out campaigns, it can apply to AL in the form of, hey, this is my table, I do not like this and this and this and that. That's what you as a DM can do at the very least in a public game. It is totally okay to do that. Like we said before, we are all DMs with different styles, different ways of communicating. This can be one of your ways of telling players that they shouldn't do certain things. This is one of the ways you can control. Okay? Oh, wait, sorry. Back. So yeah, session 0 is a session where, while create characters, discuss expectations, it is the best, if not, it's one of the best, if not the best, opportunities for you to diffuse all these potential scenarios from happening. Remember, D&D is fun, you do not want a disaster from happening. I'm sure the fact that you and your players are sitting down here means they definitely want to have fun with you. So yeah, that's, if that doesn't work for you, oh wait, shit. Yeah, remember, D&D is a social game. Same with board games, same with, I don't know, dancing. It's a social experience. And you definitely need to communicate with your players because why? They and you are human. Yeah. Dinner and dance, yeah. Right, yeah, that can happen. Dancing with dragons, oh my god. Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones. 16d10, 16d10, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so contrary to popular belief, contrary to those losers outside there who think D&D is for antisocial nerds who live in their mother's basements, it is actually a more social game than you think. I'm sure you guys would know about this, right? Yeah, and I guess it helps, right? So definitely, as a DM, you need some form of social skill to be able to run a game. If not, why are you here, right? Okay, but some of you might ask. But Marion, what if I have a -5 to my charisma? Does that mean I cannot be a? Does that mean I cannot be a DM? If I have a -5 to my charisma? Wrong. Yeah. Wrong, Even if you are not very sociable person, even if you're awkward turtle, you just need to know one very important thing. You and your players are human. You know how to run your games. They know how they want to run their games, but you guys need to come halfway and communicate. Communication is key to having the best fun in a role-playing game, be it at home or be it in a FLGS, a friendly local game store, right? So, talk to your players. It usually works. Like we said before, because the players perceive you as the leader of the table, you as the leader of the table have to take their responsibility because no one else will probably do it. That's why I think some of my friends here will agree when I say that DMing actually makes you a better player. So that if you're in a scenario where the DM is ill-equipped to deal with such things, then you will know best how to kind of approach that scenario. So yeah. So this is something I think some of you have seen online. This is, I'll share the slides with you after this. But it is a very simple mind map of what you can do as a GM at the table. So let's start from the left. Player or DM does not does something they don't like. Talk to them like an adult. Yeah. If they change and listen, everyone is happy. If they didn't understand, talk to them again and again and again and again until you get fed up and just don't not be friends with them anymore. You know, it's fine. You know, yeah. If you're clear but they're still doing it, does the thing bother somebody else? Yes, is this really a big deal to you? Yeah, so on and so forth. For those of you who cannot see, it's okay. I'll share with you the mind map later. The entire series of slides. It's a pretty basic and actually quite effective way of dealing with scenarios. But the keyword here, right, besides all this mumbo jumbo, is talk. Just talk to your players. Even if they pout and get mad and whine about it, they cannot do anything because you're talking about it, right? No one can complain if you already express what you want or what you don't want at the table, correct? So yeah, I'll share this with you later on. So key points from this: assume control. You are the DM, discipline master, dungeon master. Okay, you have every right to take out the cane. No need to whack lah. No need to whack. If you whack, then you know if they call 999, that's not my fault lah. But just saying, okay. You have control at the table. It is okay to say no when it calls for it. It is totally okay. Even if it makes you sound like a butthole. Usually it's not. It's just you expressing your okay. Maintain consistency. Like what my friends here have said. You need to be consistent with both your rules and also rules in game and at the table. Okay, so yeah, you have to initiate communication because nobody else will do it. You are the leader of the table. You cannot assume that because players, because some people are GMs here, maybe they know. Maybe maybe it's best if I sit at the back. You like I said, you have the one with the biggest point of view. You are the one who can see everything. So if you see it, initiate communication. And lastly, never lose confidence. Like I talked about earlier, like if you find yourself screwing up, nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to know like that the bugbear has 4 different forms, right? Nobody needs to know that he has a pet white dragon hiding in a pokeball somewhere, right? Nobody knows the little man or woman behind the curtain. It's okay to come up with things on the spot to try and you know make the scenario more fun or more engaging for your players. So yeah, when all else fails, then you may drop rocks on your PCs.
Yeah. One thing very quickly about communication, right? Oftentimes I think even if you communicate, it's very easy to do it wrong. So for example, let me give an example of bad communication. I'm the DM and Marion is the PC. Marion has been saying things which piss me off a lot in the campaign. For example, he randomly makes comments like, wow, this storyline so predictable, so stupid. Okay. Bad way to communicate. Marion, this you're saying, right, damn stupid, damn bad, you're a terrible player. I'm communicating, but I'm not communicating in a way which allows the possibility of us compromising. So I think what works more often than not is to start off by stating facts about what has been done. When I say facts, I don't mean things that are questionable. Right? It's not a fact that things are saying is stupid. I mean facts like, Marion, when we are playing our game, you have often made remarks like so and so. And then stay away from making like normatives, what we call normatives are like, stay away from describing what this is. Don't say this is bad, this makes you a bad player. Focus on how it makes you and other players feel.
Yes.
So I don't say this is bad to do this. I say it makes me feel bad because blah 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 blah. It makes other players feel uncomfortable because blah 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 blah. This makes your player, your problematic player, less defensive because you're not immediately thinking that as a bad guy lah. And this allows more room for compromise. If you start off by immediately accusing people of being a bad player, a bad person, harassing other people, then it's going to escalate conflict more often than not. So when you communicate, also make sure you're communicating in a way which allows compromise.
So yeah, like I said, so as a DM, I guess you also need to learn to swallow your own pride. More often than not, we as the GM have access to infinite power. Right? Because we are Thanos, we are Darkseid, we are whatever. But at the end of the game, you are back to being Marion, you are back to being Sean, you are back to being Claudine, Kyle, Kelvin, you know. And at the end of the day, if you experience something that is not conducive to you and your players, or even to yourself, you definitely have to voice out. If not, you know, you're repressing these feelings into your within yourself, and when you come into the next game, it's probably going to affect you. It's happened to me before, and I can tell you it's not healthy. So if you see something in a sport, if you feel something that's wrong with whatever, don't be afraid to speak out. They're probably just as affected as you are. Yeah. Okay.
I think one more thing to add to this is that don't take it too hard if players end up leaving because it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they run out of their schedule change or they just don't like your style, whatever. It can happen, it will happen. Right? So don't try not to let it affect you too much.
Yes, Steve.
If you are low on confidence and low on energy, at some point, don't be afraid to tell your players, say, sorry, I just have crack off.
Yeah.
That's it. Then after that, if you need to cut back on the detail, just push the adventure to the end.
Yep.
Yeah, they will understand because you know them.
Yep.
Usually.
So for the past month and a half, I was coughing like a crazy person. So every time when I was running my games like 3-4 times a week, 2-3 times a week, I would sit at the table and tell my players, okay guys, your NPCs today are coughing. those of you who know, those of you who play with me who know. So yeah. So it's okay, you know, so yeah, so I used that to my advantage. I made all my MCs, even my monsters, even the rock cough. Because it's D&D.
The rock has pebbles in his mouth.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know, it's yeah, you can even make that funny for yourself. Yeah. Okay.
If you're one last thing, sorry, just based on what Steve said. If you're feeling tired, don't push it.
Yeah.
If you're feeling burnt out, don't push it. If you're in a homebrew game, there are all sorts of things you can do to get around it. Like I can say, guys, let's take a break this week, take a break this month, let's resume next month. You can also do all sorts of other things. You could say, okay, maybe Teron is one of my players. I say, Teron, I'm really busy this month, I have time to prepare. Why don't you take over as temporary DM for this month? You can run your own mini campaign like these 2 or 3 weeks, and then I will take over once you're done with it. So this is your chance to tell a story which you're interested in.
Yeah.
All sorts of things you can do. Don't push yourself too hard. If it's not fun for you, stop.
Definitely. Okay, you wanna hand this out now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah, the discussion.
I guess we can.
Hand this out.
Yeah. Okay. Let's okay. So before we continue with the discussion, we still have a bit of time. I'm gonna pass these papers to you guys. So each one of you just take one each. I'm gonna take one for myself because I'm greedy. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, just take one each. So what you will receive is a document, the one with the triangle. That's your first page. It's called a Session 0 document. I found this online. It is a very useful tool in setting up your game with your players or knowing what kind of expectations you want, what kind of game you want. Oh, actually, I found this when I was in a Roll20 game, an online game, and the DM that I was playing with, he sent this to me and the other players at the table, and I actually found this super useful. So the first page you will see a thingy with a triangle. That is your first page. This will highlight what sort of player you can be. So you have engineer, storyteller, listener, inventor. What I like to do with my players at my Session 0, Sean has done this with me. So you have 4 options here, right? I like to list down like 1 to 4. 1 being the most, the one that most resembles you, and 4 being the one that least resembles you, that kind of thing. So the same can be done with the headers under deadliness, resource management, and player conflict. So maybe in a home campaign, in a homebrew campaign, if you and your players, you can actually use this as a sort of like an interview tool if you're recruiting players for your home games. It's a very good resource for everyone. So yeah, 3 pillars of, so the triangle here states the 3 pillars of D&D: combat, exploration, interaction. You just use a smiley face or X to mark which areas you feel most comfortable playing at. Yeah. So you can actually do this for yourself. And don't send to us, you keep it for yourself. It's a reminder for you as a player and a DM what kind of stories you like to tell, what kind of game you want to play, so on and so forth. So at the back page, you have, this is more for your character. So yeah, you have your character background on the left, and on the right you have desire, fear, regret. things that your character would experience throughout the campaign. So this is a very good document for you and your players to kind of manage expectations and kind of see whose player styles gel with you more. So yeah, keep this. We'll share it with you on a Google Drive or whatever. So yeah, yes.
Um, one of the other questions I like to ask players is describe some actions or things your character you would like to see your character do. So they might say cast a very powerful spell, or marry the king's daughter, or steal this thing, or become the best merchant in town. That tells you a little bit more about the
Yeah.
style as well as
Yeah.
the kind of story that you want.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your question again?
No, just not a question.
Oh yeah. Oh, great.
The
Yeah.
question that-
Yeah. Sorry. I got
The
mixed up.
question I
That's the
would
question.
like to ask
Yeah.
people when I'm doing this
Yeah.
session zero.
Yeah.
What kind of things you want to see your characters do?
Yeah. Actually, for my home games, even with my group with Sean or my other group, I talk to my players outside of the game. I ask them what they would want for their characters, and they will tell me. Yeah. So in homebrew games, in more long-running games, you kind of need the back and forth with your player to be able to work things out so that the campaign won't fizzle out. So yeah, it's a give and take kind of thing lah. Yeah. Okay. So at this point in time, I've ended my part, but we can discuss more about the issues we face at the table. So anyone would like to chip in or anything to say at this point? Yeah, I know my topic is a bit chunky, but yeah, yes.
I just got a question because recently I played with one person in AL, and then I understand that because they are Zendarian, there are certain behaviors that may not be aligned with
Yeah.
So last time I played with her, she said that every time we have to cure her, we use her cure wound or whatever. She said she charged us like 10 gold. So I'm wondering now is that actually against the player's behavior to affect someone's combat with the whole charging people for.
Do you literally have to pay the character 10 gold?
No, we didn't. None of us paid her because
Okay.
I was the other cleric.
Okay. Okay, guys, that's why I play clerics.
Because for that particular game, I was playing my bard, not my cleric.
Okay.
So everyone asked me to do the healing, but the thing is, I only had healing words, so
Yes.
obviously I can only do so a little bit only. The thing is, I found it very strange for someone in a combat situation, the sense that everyone is supposed to be helpful, and I know this is a way of playing a role playing as
Okay.
a Zendarian, but
Yeah.
is that like okay to
Okay.
charge people?
Yeah. Okay. This can go to. Yeah. You want to say?
Oh, you can charge everybody else can charge. Huh? Charge
You want me to
Yeah lah.
save you from the goblin? Oh.
10 gold lah. 10 gold. Yeah.
You can let the goblin stab you or our paladin can give you
100 pieces.
Yeah.
There we go.
To stabilize you with KO.
I mean, she's
Okay.
she's quite self-sufficient in the sense that she's quite armored and everything. Yeah, so we let her go in front, but the thing is that none of us actually have told her that it's not wrong anything, but you can tell everyone's face they're not quite happy with the way that she's
Okay.
running it.
Okay. This is
The way she's
okay. This is not a game issue. This is a social issue.
this is
Okay. This is the type of player that justifies. Oh, my character will do this. No, yeah, sort of. But I would say it's more of a social issue because. Okay.
What the rules of AL?
Does not allow you to trade.
Yeah, definitely.
So technically she cannot pay.
Yeah.
No, but more than that, AL assumes that your characters are all working for a common cause.
Yes.
And no one should subvert the rest of the party.
Yes.
So the most AL allows is lawful evil, and even that assumes your characters to
Yeah.
share the goal of the rest of the party.
Correct.
So your character should not be doing stuff to endanger the rest of the party. The moment someone starts behaving like that, right, you have a justified cause to speak to them about whether their character is behaving to subvert the rest of the party, and if so, you can, as a DM, remove them from AL.
Yeah. That's extreme.
That's the benefit of session zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find all these kind of cheating coming out of session zero.
What she's talking about as well is so session zero is a bit harder.
Uh,
I mean, it's possible, yes, for
Yeah.
home, but in AL adventures when it's a pick up drop kind of game, It's a bit more, that's all.
That's why I say you as a DM at the start of the game, you have every right to tell them I do not accept this kind of behavior. Because it is definitely within your jurisdiction to set the limitations for the players in a social kind of perspective. If obviously if the player does not agree, you also have every right to kick them out. Because yeah.
For me, I define these kind of things as destructive behavior.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because if we are playing a game, you all want to enjoy the game together. You
Yes.
can't be getting in each other's way.
Yeah.
And then when you're getting someone else's way, everyone else want to get in your way.
Yes.
And then suddenly it becomes like it's not a game anymore. You're not enjoying it.
Yeah.
I think it's like basically D&D. There's more than just one person at the table.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch. Everyone wants to have fun. So as the important thing we have to try to remember is we should not be trying to interfere with other people's fun. And this sort of thing, perhaps step
Yeah.
outside the game, talk about it.
So unless you are going into playing this kind of games where everyone's a villain, you're trying to get into each other's way, and you're mentally prepared for this kind of system.
Yeah.
If not, most people
totally okay.
will not be interested in this kind of games.
The Centauri is an organization, right?
Yes.
So they have a hierarchy. There's a higher officer who say, right, your fees is waived for this adventure. You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
It's not a case where events cause that's a very extreme scenario where I suddenly come here and call him as a current officer. But to go back to a solution, a possible solution that I can think of, go at least ask down the player, let him slash her know that this is not saying destructive behavior, say that it's counterproductive. Let her know first. Let him or her know. If him or her still continues on, let the DM know. Let the DM address the issue first. If that doesn't work, then see how the flow goes up. See how the ball
Yeah.
goes.
I guess that's one good thing about AL. The restrictions also limit all the actions of your players, even the extremely evil ones. So yeah, that can help lah. But yeah, this would be more of a social issue, like we talked about before, player styles, right? Sometimes the player wants to fuck shit up in the team's perspective, but if nobody is agreeing to that, then everyone has a right to say no. You as a DM have every right to step in.
I mean, usually at this point they will deploy the favorite red herring, because that's what my character will do. That's my
Yes,
character's
yes,
personality.
that is
At
the-
this point you point out to them that yes, but who decides your character's personality? It's you, right? So if you say your character wouldn't do that, then your character doesn't do that, right? So can you just make your character not do that?
Yeah.
Right?
For the benefit of yourself and everybody else at the table. So yeah, actually, Jen, actually, there was a game where I actually let a player do their own thing, and I actually kind of regret that now, even though it was fun at the time, because there was a guy, it was a dinosaur racing session also, but different from this one. And the guy wanted to go off on his own and sabotage the races such that the one that they bet on, the dinosaur that they bet on, will win. Right? So effectively he was splitting the party, and everybody was sent to the stands to just observe, right? To see if the one that they bet on will win. I could see, okay, back then I saw faces that were looking sideways, giving sideways looks at this player, but I let it happen because I thought it would be fun. Because this guy that went alone was my friend, and I thought it'd be okay that there's an unspoken thing between us, an unspoken agreement that would be okay for him to be let off on his own. But then after the game, okay, eventually the one that they bet on still lost, so it sucks for them. But I made it such that the guy had to constantly make checks before he can truly succeed, and obviously he failed, which is why their guy lost. But after the game, a player came up to me, or rather I saw a player expressing online how a bit upset she was at how this player went off on his own. And then it was then I realized, oh, actually AL, there's really, you can really overestimate your power sometimes as a DM, your authority sometimes in a scenario like that. So that if looking back, I wouldn't do that again. Yeah, because now I see it, it's really a social contract, and if you break that contract, people will not enjoy it. So yeah. Okay, what else do we have? Yeah, okay, so wait, before we move on, anyone else got anything to share?
I think for me, one of the issues that I come across is that there are certain players or the other side of the spectrum, they want all the attention.
Yeah.
Right? They'll play and then they say, oh, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. What happens next? Tell me.
Shit, I'm the kind of guy, so. That's why I never play.
So there are certain players who will be like that. They're really enthusiastic
Yes.
about it and they're really into it. But then because they are so demanding of your attention, like everyone else is a bit conflicted as well. Yeah, so that is one of the issues that I came across.
Definitely. So yeah, as DM, you're not just like a random number generator simulator. You are also a mother hen. It's a sort of thing you have to take up as a guy who wants to tell stories for people. So yeah. Okay. Any more? Yes, Kyle.
I haven't DM'd before, but what I've noticed about my regular board gaming group, were I to like DM for them, is that all of us, me included, are very prone to analysis paralysis. So I'm wondering how I would sort of make a like shortish, meaty game for them. If we're all new to like the experience.
Oh, that's where we're actually gonna get to next. Yeah. So what we have for you at the end of this workshop, which we have come to almost at the end to resources. So, as a dungeon master, as a new dungeon master, what do you need to run a game? Core material. Okay, the text here is really small. If you guys want to come a bit closer, it's you're free to do so. But what I have here, you have the 3 core books. The player's handbook. Actually, you only need the player's handbook because it is the book that contains all the rules you need to run a game of D&D. Not even the Dungeon Master's Guide, not even the Monster Manual. The DMG and the MM are actually additional resources for you to peruse as a DM. But I've listed them in an order as such. Get the player's handbook first because all the rules are there. Get the Monster Manual second because as a DM, you'll be the one playing the monsters as well, right? So you definitely will be referring to this book almost every single time. Why I put this above so, and they also have role-playing, they also have text for you to defer to when you want to role-play these creatures. How different is a goblin from a kobold? It's all there. How different is a bugbear from a hobgoblin? It's all there. So yeah. The Dungeon Master's Guide, okay, the DMG, this one actually contains more of world building rules, more for people who want to run homebrew campaigns. However, it also contains a whole cache of magic items, which you can use both in homebrew and in AL. So they also have a lot of alternate variant rules, like flanking, sanity, honor, which you can use for whatever type of game you want to play. So like we said before, there's different genres. You want to play sci-fi, you want to play, there's mechanics for guns. Yes, both muskets and rail guns, like energy guns. Yeah, they have it there as well. But okay, this one's might be a bit pricey for you. So what I would recommend is the starter set. The D&D starter set is a big box which contains the basic rules, pre-generated character sheets, and the adventure called Lost Mine of Phandelver. That is actually a big triple star for me because I've run it three times already. It's a very good starting adventure for DMs. So going back to what you said, Kyle, it's a very good resource for you. Yep. So like we said also, there's box text for you to read on, and if players have analysis paralysis, punch them in the face. No, I'm kidding. You tell them, just tell them that this adventure you want to run is a short adventure. Don't waste my time by trying to diffuse every single thing. Or it's not gonna work. Yeah. Yes.
No hourglass can go.
Yep.
Maybe if they take too long, maybe like a trap, like a wall something close in.
Yeah. Or quicksand.
Suddenly something happens.
Yeah.
Because that one will always save you time. Because when you keep on talking, right,
Yes.
then suddenly
Yep.
there's ambush. Just throw an ambush at them.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a full-on ambush. It can be the wind just blowing. Maybe you hear creaking by just the gate, right? Stuff like that. Okay. So So another very good resource, the Dungeon Master screen. This is the one that makes you the boss. Not really though. It actually contains, what you see is this, right? Big red dragon and a lot of kobolds and stuff, but behind is actually a lot of rules that you can refer to. Actually, personally, I don't recommend the flat DM screen. There's actually inserts that you can find online that have been done by other fans that are actually even more extensive and helpful than this. Because this one has a lot of artwork which sometimes can not be very useful. So yeah. So you have conditions here. You have NPC names and stuff like that. So yeah. Actually, I wish I brought my other DM screen because that one is a recently updated one. And they have actually rules for combat and things you can do on your turn, so it's perfect for new DMs. Yeah.
The more recent one.
Okay. Yeah. So some of you have seen this DM screen before, right? Some of you have seen this DM screen before, right? There's a new one that came out with a big red dragon, just wings spread. That's the new one. Now this one is not selling anymore, so you can definitely get the other one in stores. Ha. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They actually do write it there for you. Like, what is the difficulty rating that you want to put on this check?
Yeah.
What is the DC for that? You'll write it there for you.
Yep.
It's very useful, especially when you're trying to do a lot on the fly.
Yeah.
Which I happen to encounter.
Yep. Okay. So moving on, we have battle mats here. One is by Paizo, a flip mat. Another one is by Chesek, is a rollout mat. You can get either, but they are not necessary. You only need, honestly, you don't even need battle mats, you don't even need minis as a DM, just need imagination, SpongeBob style, and you're done.
I mean, like, remember earlier in the presentation you mentioned like people who worry about lack of resources like miniatures. So the best DMs I played with never use any mats or miniatures.
Yes.
And most they have a piece of foolscap paper, they just roughly draw something. Just use something like a eraser, spare dice represent a character. Okay.
Can you sock puppets?
Or maybe when most of my tables I essentially I just gotta give a life. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, two very important resources you need if you want to play public games, Adventurers League. There's this thing called the AL Players Guide. There's another resource called the AL DMs Guide. Both can be found in this website called www.dmsguild.com. Yeah, we'll share with you the slides so you can just look through and just Google yourself. Okay? Next. Okay, additional material. These are actually stuff that you can just read and watch and listen to at your own time. These are some resources from YouTube, podcasts, websites that you can actually use at your own time. Yeah. Okay. So the ones that start right are actually some of my personal favorites. And actually I feel essential for DMs to use. So yeah, Matt Colville, he's a very accomplished DM. Sean has shared his name before. He's actually this series called Running the Game. If you want to run a game as a DM, if it's your first time, if you still, after this workshop, you still don't know what the hell is going on, go to this guy, Matt Colville. He will redirect you to being a GM. It's very, yeah. Yes, definitely. So yeah. WebDM is another very good series. Two guys just sitting there talking about D&D. It's more of like rules and resources that you can just pull from them. They talk about different topics like what kind of monsters there are and how they can be used in combat like that. What kind of campaigns you can play. So it's more of like a general kind of thing. GM tips. This one is run by both Matthew Mercer and this other GM called Satine Phoenix. Both very experienced DMs, both very articulate and have very good topics that they cover, a very wide range. Okay, so podcast for those of you who have who don't like to watch stuff, who like to listen on your commute to and from work or school. Dungeon Masters blog is my personal recommendation for you all. The first few episodes is the audio quality is a bit crap, but later on when they get new equipment and it's quite good. The things they talk about also are pretty good. If you want a shorter version, Total Party Thrill. These come in like bits of like 40-50 minutes, so you can listen to for entire journey of commute. Also another good series of resources. RPG Academy also is good for just running games in general. Then websites, you have the Angry GM. Okay, I think some of you Lao Jiaos here will know this guy. Angry GM is a guy who's been writing about RPGs for quite a long time. and he gives a lot of very brutal advice, but useful, very useful. But it's hard truths that we as DMs need to learn about. So he will tell you your first session as DM is going to be shit, and you have to be okay with that. Yeah, and you have to be okay because it is the truth. Your first session, my first session was crap. Your first session will probably be no different, and it's okay. So yeah, Sly Flourish, this guy, he wrote the book called The Lazy Dungeon Master, I think. It's a pool of resources which you can use if you're lazy to run stuff. Middle Finger of Vecna, yeah. Very interesting name. They have a ton of homebrew content also, but they also have a lot of articles for new GMs to read. So very good stuff. Miscellaneous, okay, dmzero.com. This is very important because this is where you guys will be getting a lot of your stuff. If you've not visited yet, something is wrong with you. No, serious. Because it contains both AL and homebrew content, so you can get whatever from there. And a lot of stuff, especially homebrew, is pay what you want, aka free. So yeah. Or maybe somebody emailed it to you, it's fine. So yeah, whatever. Yeah. Okay, so Reddit. A lot of people, if you like to surf the net, Reddit is probably one of your favorite hangout spots. Go to r/dnd, and there's other subreddits here you can find out. Behind the screen, very again resources, DM Academy for new DMs, and Unearthed Arcana. This is for you. This is for homebrew content. This is not to be confused with the official D&D Wizards Unearthed Arcana stuff. Okay, I'm probably talking a lot of jargon here, and you guys are probably confused, but it's okay. So yeah, EN World, another very good community resource that talks about RPGs and how to run them. A lot of guides for campaigns you want to run, so it's very good. Giant in the Playground, also the same as EN World. So yeah, there's a ton of resources that you can use. So if you've not heard of any of these, good for you, because yeah, you'll have a field day spending the next few weeks or months just reading all this stuff. Okay, recommended adventures. We have a ton here, and we've broken them up to different categories. So for AL, we have 5 here, and all of these 5 are like 5 mini adventures in one, and they can all be played in either AL or private settings. So you will never go wrong. Yeah, Defiance in Plan, City of Danger, Harried in Hillsfar, Treasure of the Broken, City on the Edge. This is the one with the dinosaur race. Some of you will know. So yeah, hardcovers. AL, they are also AL legal if you want to choose to run them in a public or private setting. So Lost Mine of Phandelver is considered a hardcover. It is a very good starting point for any DM. I say again, and I'll say it forever. It's also a good segue into multiple other published campaigns or homebrew. Because it's so vanilla, you can even set it in Tatooine in Star Wars. You can even set it in yeah, you know, whatever. You can set it in China, you can set it in Japan. It doesn't, yeah, it's just that good. Okay, for hardcovers, you have Horde of the Dragon Queen plus Rise of Tiamat. Okay, this is the very first series of hardcover adventures that was released. Although people online and maybe myself will say that this is a bit railroady, a bit lazy writing, but it's actually, I find it very useful for new DMs who struggle with coming up with their own stories. It can also be run in AL format because it's episodic. You can even run it in a one-shot kind of setting.
One very quick word
Yeah.
about Horde of the Dragon Queen. There are some people saying online, and I tend to agree with that Horde of the Dragon Queen is a bit heavy at first level.
Yeah.
So be very, pay a lot of attention to the difficulty level and whether or not it's overtaxing your DCs.
Yeah.
Because especially for our spell classes level 1 with like 7 HP, they can get 7 like one shot by some random kobold, so be careful about that.
Yeah, so yeah, another very good hardcover you might consider is Princess of the Apocalypse, or POTA for short. This one is a very classic dungeon crawl series because you and your players will be going through a lot of dungeons. So if you like that, yeah. Storm King's Thunder, the one I'm running, the one that is actually quite recommended after Lost Mine of Phandelver because they segue very well together. It's a good campaign if you want to explore the world of Forgotten Realms. You see a big ass map there? Yeah, that's where Storm King's Thunder takes place in. That's where you'll be fighting all the giants and stuff. So yeah. But just take note, hardcovers are similar to AL in the sense that they are pre-written, so you don't need to prepare much. However, you still need to prepare because you cannot be you will definitely you cannot use the entire book in one sitting. So you have to take your own notes and stuff. So it depends on how you want to prepare. So maybe for new DMs, this might not be recommended. So I recommend the starter set. So yeah, there's okay. There's one-shot adventures. If you want to run non-officially published campaigns or games, there are some one-shot adventures that are written by third-party publishers that are actually really very good, and some of them are free, as I highlighted here on dmsguild.com. So, yeah, Wolves of Welton, Most Potent Brew, Horror at Havel's Cross. So these are actually the adventures that cover a range of genres. Some of which are like high fantasy, some of which are like horror, mystery, stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can get from DM's Guild for free. Or some of which are small price. So yeah, you just pay $3-4 for a cheap adventure and you're good to go. So yeah, next. Okay, inspiration. So, as a DM, you need to read, watch, listen, and play, and you need to steal from all these incredible sources of media here. So if you recognize a face here or a logo or a symbol, it can definitely be used in a D&D game. Or maybe in a different genre, right? So yeah. Just steal, yeah. The best artists, the best of us here steal. So it is totally, sorry? What? The top right? Okay, have you guys heard of Dragonlance?
Dragonlance.
Yes, Dragon. This is the scene where they fight a black dragon. Oh, no spoilers. But yeah, it's a book series that I would say rivals even Lord of the Rings. Yeah, if you never heard of Dragonlance, please go read it. It's amazing. So yeah, bottom right. You never heard of Stranger Things? It's okay. You never watched Something Wrong With You. If you never watched Stranger Things, something is wrong with you. Please go and watch. No, it's okay, it's okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry? Top Center, yeah, this world. Terry Pratchett. Yeah. So I've not read or played all of these. These are just some very popular recommendations. So yeah. Yep. And that's it for this workshop, guys. Yeah. So thank you for coming. Oh my God. Yeah. So thanks to all of you for coming. I hope this has been a good and informative experience for you all. We overshot for a bit, but I hope that's okay. So yeah, that's probably because we are all very passionate here. So, so yeah. No, that's okay.